All right, Mary Beth, thank you. The suspected shooter is a firearms expert who is also an Army reservist, and he has a history of mental health issues. The shootings raising new questions about gun control and red flag laws, many urging lawmakers to do more to protect Americans, while others point to mental health as the problem.
But it's unlikely this latest mass shooting will change any minds in Washington. John Fenoglio here in studio with that part of our coverage. John.
Yeah, sure, Micah. The fact is, a majority of Americans support federal common sense gun control laws. And most Republican and Democratic lawmakers agree that more mental health treatment has to be part of the solution. But that's about it. Republicans want greater security and more guns. Democrats want to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Sadly, the result is a deadlocked debate that is as familiar as the shootings themselves.
A mass shooting event like this is not something that, I just never thought it could happen here.
That's what most people think, until it does. This time, it was Lewiston, Maine. The town of about 37,000 residents, now the latest American community torn apart by a uniquely American problem. No other industrialized country experiences mass shootings with as much frequency as the U.S.
There's two sides of the divide usually. One is guns and one is mental health. This is a unique incident where we have both.
Chris Golinek is an expert on active shooters. He echoes what authorities say were warning signs. The suspect, 40-year-old Robert Card, was an active Army reservist who recently reported mental health issues, including hearing voices. He was committed to a mental health facility for 2 weeks this summer in New York after threatening fellow soldiers with violence. Despite his recent troubled past, he was able to carry out his rampage with an AR-15 assault-style rifle.
Existing laws at state and federal level should have caught something like this. So we have to make sure the laws that we have on the books are actually being enforced. I mean, how is somebody who is in a mental institution still allowed to have a gun, or where did he get access to that gun?
The state of New York has a red flag law that would have allowed medical authorities to report Card's hospitalization to local law enforcement who could have petitioned to confiscate his firearms. 21 states have red flag laws. Maine does not. Theirs is called a yellow flag law. The primary difference being that it does not specifically empower a family member to directly ask the courts to confiscate someone's guns and prevent them from purchasing more. Officials now sounding off.
In our country today, the leading cause of death of American children is gun violence.
President Biden issuing a statement saying, in part, "I urge Republican lawmakers to fulfill their duty to protect the American people. Work with us to pass a bill banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, to enact universal background checks, to require safe storage of guns, and end immunity from liability for gun manufacturers." But new gun control measures have almost no chance of passing the Republican-controlled House. In the Senate, at least 10 GOP members would have to join Democrats to pass any kind of reform. According to the nonprofit Gun Violence Archive, there have been 566 mass shootings in the U.S. so far this year, classified as 4 or more people shot or killed in a single incident, not including the shooter.
It has to be the whole holistic approach, or you and I will be back here having another conversation.
Lawmakers did pass a modest bill last year following the mass shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. The measure improved some background checks and provided millions of dollars for school security and mental health services. But critics say it is still not enough. And with a deeply divided Congress, any new movement on gun reform is highly unlikely. Micah, back to you.
All right, John, thank you.